In May of 1970, 4 students were killed by National Guard troops during a campus protest at Kent State University in Ohio.
Whenever I say the Trump and MAGA attack on our civil rights and basic freedoms is on all of us, some people get mad, real mad. I didn't vote for him. I hate him. I voted for Harris. I get it. But if that's you, you're missing my point. And I'm including myself. I ask, have I done enough? And I don't mean these videos. I grew up watching my older sisters protest Vietnam, where every day hundreds of 19-year-old American boys were dying in some rice patch 10,000 miles away. My sister lost an old boyfriend. I remember the pain. But guess what? Those protests, they won the war. And by one, we brought home tens of thousands of boys and stood up to this guy.
Well, I'm not a crook.
I want you to meet someone who's doing it right now. One of many Americans getting dirty, fighting for the country against these fascist humps. I want you to meet someone who's doing that right now. One of many Americans getting dirty, fighting for this country against these fascist humps. I want you to meet him. But first, a big thanks to all of you who subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're helping us get the word out to millions. And if you haven't subscribed already, it's easy. All you have to do is... And guess what? The next 10 people to subscribe get free Republican dance lessons. So here's the guy I'm talking about. His name is Chris Kluwe. Dude played football for UCLA before joining the Vikings back in 2005 to 2012. Kluwe claims he was released from the Vikings due to his political beliefs and support for same-sex marriage. We'll get to that, but first this.
Unfortunately, it's clear that this council does not listen, so instead I'm going to take my time to say what MAGA has stood for these past 3 weeks. MAGA stands for trying to erase trans people from existence. MAGA stands for resegregation and racism. MAGA stands for censorship and book bans. MAGA stands for firing air traffic controllers while planes are crashing. MAGA stands for firing the people overseeing our nuclear arsenal. MAGA stands for firing military veterans and those serving them at the VA, including canceling research on veteran suicide. MAGA stands for cutting funds to education, including for disabled children. MAGA is profoundly corrupt, unmistakably anti-democracy, and most importantly, MAGA is explicitly a Nazi movement. You may have replaced a swastika with a red hat, but that is what it is. I will now engage in the time-honored American tradition of peaceful civil disobedience.
Get the heck! Get out!
Okay, folks, that's moxie. Balls right there. And while Laura Ingraham might say shut up and dribble, or in this case, kick, I'm pretty sure he could give a rat's ass what Fox News thinks. But what makes Chris Kluwe different is his story. During the summer of 2012, he was approached by a group called Minnesotans for Marriage Equality, which asked him if he would be interested in helping defeat which was known as a thing called the Minnesota Gay Marriage Amendment. The proposed amendment would have defined marriage as only a union of one man and one woman. He said, yeah, I'll help you, but he'd have to clear it with the team first. After talking to the Vikings legal department, he was given the go-ahead to speak on the issue as long as he made it clear he was acting as a private citizen, not as a spokesman for the Vikings, and he did that. Then on September 8th, the head coach of the Vikings, a guy named Leslie Frazier, called him into his office and immediately told him that he, quote, needed to be quiet and stop speaking out on this stuff. Here's Chris 11 years ago speaking with Anderson Cooper.
This article you wrote, and the headline is, I was an NFL player until I was fired by 2 cowards and a bigot. One of the cowards you talked about is your former head coach. The bigot, you say, is the special teams coordinator, the coach on the Minnesota Vikings. You say he said vocally to you over repeatedly what you describe as homophobic comments. At one point he said something about we should round up all the gays, send them to an island, and then nuke it until it glows. He said that you were going to hell along with the other gays. Did other people, other teammates hear him say these things?
Yeah, there are witnesses to all the things I put in that piece on Deadspin, and I made sure that I had witnesses because otherwise that's a very easy defamation of character case, and it would be pretty easy for him to prevail in a court of law.
Because that coach, particularly the special teams coordinator, he categorically denies this. He says he has gay family members. What did you make of that?
Well, it's not like he's going to come out and say, yeah, I said all those things, please end my career now. Generally these things go through a certain legal process, but I am 100% confident in everything that I related is how it happened, and really encouraged by the fact that the Vikings are taking it seriously and opening an independent investigation, because I think, once they talk with people, they'll find out what happened.
The coach of your team, when you did start speaking out, several times said to you, please stop doing this. And he quoted another coach who said, something defective. A smart coach once told me players shouldn't talk about politics and religion. Was there at any point where you felt, you know what, maybe I should just stop speaking out?
Coincidentally, one of the things that Kluwe is speaking on is Trump's attack on whistleblowers and the good they do. Bottom line, the NFL is a plantation mentality. Ownership is passed down from family to family, and the players' contracts, except for the superstars, don't offer the financial protection that the MLB and NBA offer. So what Kluwe did was brave, to say the least, and inspiring.
Well, that was a decision I made very early on when I first committed to working with Minnesotans for Marriage Equality, is that whenever I do something, I'm going to do it to the utmost of my ability. I mean, if I commit, you're getting 100% of what I have. And so that meant that if I was going to speak out in favor of same-sex rights, then, I wasn't going to back down.
I'm not saying we all need to be arrested. Shit, right now with all that's going on, I'd settle if people just got interested.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes!
Tick-tock!
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.